grandfather. Now I know many of you are worried about the world, the conditions, the way it is for people and other beings. But know that this is not only a test of your own abilities to influence the world, so that it is benevolent and not just a place for gamesmanship and fighting. Then you must know that it is time to act. For those of you who've been studying the written blogs, the books, and finally the videos, it is time to act. Keep in mind always that saying the words is not enough. You must practice on feeling the energy. Remember, the physical evidence of feeling the energy is present not only when you are asking for something that is benevolent for you and all beings, but also when what you are asking about will be well received by who you are asking it for. So there's that. Also know that actions required nowadays to improve the quality of life for all beings do not have to be complex, and it is never about hurting or harming anyone, regardless of the reason. Ultimately, the way the world is going to become benevolent for all beings will be a process that is benevolent for all beings. Keep in mind that those you don't like for many reasons may fall loosely into several different categories. Keep in mind also that other people may have dropped you into some of their categories about people they don't like for some reason. This is why the solution has to be benevolent for all beings, you see. Because, very simply, the pathway to benevolence is benevolent. I know that must sound hopelessly simplistic, but the discipline involved to keep it benevolent is omnipresent. This doesn't mean you have to examine everything you say or think or do, though at times it might feel like that. It simply means that you must do your best when doing living prayers, benevolent magic, true magic, and other things you learn here on these videos and on the written blogs and in the books, in the most benevolent way you are able to do in that moment. And if you say something or do something that is not appropriate, meaning maybe not benevolent for everyone, then you will know, because there will be no energy to support what you are asking for. But there's another occasion when there would be no energy, and I want to explain that just a little bit. Many's the time, especially for those of you practitioners who've been doing this for a while, that you will say something that you've already done, or you will do something magical that you've already done in whole or in part. And what you are doing, while you have forgotten that other thing, what you are doing is really a reiteration. Sometimes this can be done if it takes the original magic and broadens it out to cover other beings, then there might be support, and the energy will be there. But if you have done something and you feel absolutely no energy, and you didn't feel any energy during the time of doing it, with perhaps the slight energy that you might contribute yourself, then you'll know either save that, meaning do it again another time because the time wasn't right, or you may have already have done this, or somebody else has done this and it's working well and you do not have to. This does not give you a license, so to speak, to avoid doing things that need to be done. The worst thing that can happen is if you don't feel energy, well, then the time's not right, or you have made a slight mistake somewhere, or it's already been done. So, that's the review part of the video today. Now, a couple of things. There will be, still to come, at least one major catastrophic tsunami. But it is only a potential, you see. It may be in the Pacific Ocean and the oceans that connect directly to that, as they're laid out on the map. It may be in the Atlantic. So, keep an eye on websites that cover these events, whether they be tsunami alert or weather stations, something like that. You can't do it all the time, but if you want to form a loose-knit group who will keep an eye on these things, then do it. Learn what to do about tsunamis. I'm going to give you a little bit of what you can do. First, go down to the shore, maybe, if it is a long way off, and just coming across the ocean towards you and your peoples. Or, if you're not sure how far off it is, or it might be approaching, then up on the high ground, first ask for all the most benevolent energies to be available and all around and about you. Like that, you know what to do. And of course also try to be someplace where no one is near you, meaning try to have at least 30 feet around you, where no one is there, meaning no humans. If they're a dog, a cat, that's probably okay. But then, say this: I am asking that the big waves, the tsunamis, moving in this direction and all other directions that may harm people and all other life and things they hold dear to them, now be deflected away from all these shores so that we are all safe. You understand, you are speaking not only for yourself and the people where you live, but for everyone. See, benevolent for all beings. While you are doing that, stand and face the shoreline. If you are unable to stand, perhaps you're in a wheelchair, then you'll have to sit. But if possible, have your feet on the ground. So, if you have someone to help you, have the supports for your feet moved by somebody before you begin so that your feet are on the ground. All right? But if you are standing, and I'm going to assume you are, most of you, then make this gesture. right? Send your arm, so to speak. It must be your right arm. All right. Extend it as far out from your shoulder as you can. I am showing you the position, however. See? It is your hand, flattened out, but you're going to put your arm out totally straight, and you're going to move it back and forth like this, just back and forth. Keep your arm completely straight while you're moving back and forth. Understand that you're going to do this only while you're making the request that I mentioned with those words exactly about deflecting the tsunami. That's something I recommend you do. Don't do it if there are no tsunamis coming. This cannot have a harmful effect. It can just decrease the cooperation of the light beings, the angels, the guides, the various benevolent beings who carry out the request and unite you with all other human beings who will support this, as well as all other beings in general. Many's the time that human beings are not enough to support this, and the animals will know, they will feel the energy, and they will support it. And when I say animals, I'm not just talking about cows and dogs and cats. I'm talking about the tiniest, meaning, say, ants, all right, or smaller, fleas, beings you don't necessarily enjoy, eh? All the way up to whales, elephants, and so on. You need their support. After all, they could be affected too. But even if there's some place where they would not be affected, or they can escape, such as the winged ones, still, they will support it if it is benevolent for all beings. Keep that in mind. So, remind us today and a little more about tsunami, deflection. You can do these things. All right? I just want to remind you one last thing. I know many of you are interested in these things. I'm not saying that tsunami will happen in 2011 or 2012 or 2013. I'm saying that when the big one might happen, then this is something you can do. So keep an eye on those websites that track these things and work up a network of other people that keep an eye on these things, and you will be able to help. All right, one more thing. I have mentioned in the past that there would be a lot more UFOs in the skies. Now, there will be more. Not only UFOs, but you will also see lights that are obviously light beings. They will be anomalous shapes, meaning sometimes they will be round. Sometimes they will be like little dots of light. Sometimes they will be other shapes. You will see them because Spirit is here to support and help you. And you will see them not only now, but on an increasing basis. You will see them in 2012, 2013, and beyond. They are here to help you. If you have the opportunity to see one, and the energy, this is a big important thing, and the energy feels good to you, especially in your heart area, or generally speaking in your chest. All right? You might feel warmth or some such thing. Not just excitement where you get scattered in your energy, but warmth, a good feeling, benevolence. All right? Then you can say, welcome. I welcome you to my world. Come as often as you like, and perhaps good life. Or you can just say good life. You will see these things much more in 2012, but it is beginning now, and I feel it is to your advantage to know this. It does not herald the end of the world, but it does herald the beginning, meaning a greater opportunity for you all to migrate to the next dimension of this world. And you must all go together, and it must be a benevolent path, as I said, and you must welcome all souls of all beings to migrate with you. While there will be migrations around the surface of the planet for various reasons, as I've mentioned, this will be a migration on planet from one version of Mother Earth to another. And the next version you will arrive at will be much, much bigger. And therefore, the population that is crowded on the planet now will not be crowded there. And the only discomfort you will have there is maybe 2% of discomfort and 98% of comfort and benevolence. The 2% of discomfort, and sometimes just 1.5%, will only be there to allow you to grow, change, and adapt, but this time in the most benevolent way. All right, that's enough for now. Good life.